Hey everybody, welcome to yet another edition of Wednesday here on Chrono Speakeasy. I'm joined with Angela.
Hello.
Will.
Howdy ho.
Rob.
Hello.
And y'all know me. It's Paul. What's going on? How's everyone's week going?
It's working like every other time. This October has been brutal. I can't wait for Thanksgiving.
Meanwhile, I can wait for Thanksgiving because that's our busiest time of year. So let's keep November as far away as we can.
Oh, man.
Let's just
I
switch.
actually read Plutonia issue #1.
That's
oh,
good.
yeah, because last week you read 2?
Last week I only read 2. I'm sorry. I thought you cared about me.
So anyway. Well, I was thinking, do you want to talk about Plutonia 1? I was thinking you would say that for what we've been reading this week.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Whatever. That's what I did this week, and I was very proud of it.
All week she's like working through one issue. She's like, then. It's like, Paul, I did it.
It's been a little long week.
Issue 2 must make so much more sense now.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
weirdly, it makes less sense.
Issue 1 is really the end of Plutonia. It was, they're pulling out a memento on us. Anyway, a lot of big news this week. I'm excited that Why the Last Man was sort of in development hell for a while for a film, and now looks like it's in development over at FX, which is awesome. Because I think Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan, with art by Pai Guerra, can lend itself very well to a series. I never bought it being a movie, but as a series, I totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, I didn't know they were making a TV show about it because they announced the director and stuff for the movie a couple of years ago. And it was supposed to be a guy named Dan Trachtenberg who used to actually just like host a podcast and direct commercials. And he actually directed that Portal No Escape short film that went to YouTube a couple of years ago and like went super viral. And he like got picked up by Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams' crew and was supposed to do Why the Last Man. But I guess, I don't know if he's still involved or not, but a TV show I think definitely does lend itself more to the format of the book.
Oh, yeah.
And so FX actually has a history of really trusting their creators, where they're just kind of like, so this is your idea. We have faith in you. Here's a pile of money. Go make it. Like, that's what they've done with It's Always Sunny. That's what they've done with The League and like all those other shows that people love. So I think so long as the Why the Last Man, whoever the creator, showrunner, director is, has a solid idea and a good idea, I think it's going to do really well on FX, and it has a chance to do well there.
Yeah. As of right now, according to the Hollywood Reporter, so FX is partnering with Vaughn, with Nina Jacobson of Color Force and Brad Simpson, who work on like The Hunger Games and American Crime Story. They're working together to develop the comic Why the Last Man as a television series. And for those who don't know, Why the Last Man, you got to check it out. It's basically the short version. This disease breaks out. There's a virus that kills everything with the Y chromosome except for this guy and his monkey. And
Ampersand.
Yeah.
They better nail Ampersand. I mean, they better nail everything. Why the Last Man is my favorite comic book of all time. I've said this before, but it's also like my favorite story. Like, I love Why the Last Man so much. And that goddamn monkey.
Great.
They could use the monkey from the Hangover movies for that.
He's a good monkey actor.
He's been looking to break out from comedy into a more serious role.
Well, she
excuse me.
Carpet, and she was darling. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. She was really.
But Ampersand is a male. All right.
Right, but FX, while they're groundbreaking, they're not going to show any genitalia, so what's a male or female monkey, no one's going to know. But I do like, it'll be great to have such a great show with like a strong female cast. Because a part of the story, too, is women rebuilding the government. I think that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally entirely a female cast with the few speckled exceptions, but it's pretty much, I
don't think the Amazon's right with their one boobs and they're crazy.
But the thing that's kind of good about FX versus like HBO and stuff, although they can't show everything, the comic was never really like rated hard R or anything. Like
no,
there was
a few
select somewhat graphic stuff, but it's not like they're gonna have to sacrifice any of the good parts of like the book in order to fit it on FX. Like FX had like The Shield and a bunch of other crazy like Sons of Anarchy and stuff. They're not afraid to show some stuff.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be great. The other, and while that's confirmed, there is this kind of rumor going around, according to Heroic Hollywood. So you got to take it with a bit of a grain of salt that Moon Knight apparently is supposedly maybe being developed over at Netflix based on the success of Daredevil. While Moon Knight would be cool, I don't know if this is happening just yet.
Yeah, I know, Will, you just got back on the Moon Knight train, right?
Yeah, so I've been reading the Bendis run, which it seems to be where a lot of people are getting into it. But I really started liking Moon Knight, and I guess this might not be the best version, but in the Ultimate Universe, there was the Ultimate Knights miniseries where it had like Moon Knight, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man showed up every so often. And he was a really interesting character there, and he was, of course, a bit more like already schizophrenic, so you kind of got to jump right into that. But now reading the new series of his main run, it's been weird because there's not really a huge overarching story that I've seen, but it's still a really engaging, like Monster of the Week-ish type book because we're like getting reintroduced to Moon Knight.
I'm sorry. Which who's writing the series you're reading now?
Bendis.
Bendis. You should check out the Warren Ellis Moon Knight because that was phenomenal. That was the series that had Moon Knight in a 3-piece.
Oh wait, no, sorry. This is the one that I have been reading. Why did I think it was Bendis?
I don't know. Well, he was writing it for a while, where he was seeing Spider-Man and Wolverine and Captain America in his head. But I really dig the Warren Ellis run because I kind of like the whole Monster of the Week 1-issue dynamic for that, because it's so different than what I'm used to reading, where it's like Secret Wars, where it's like 6 or 8 issues long. This is like pretty self-contained, but it does wrap up together really nicely at the end. I'll just say that. But so I kind of like Moon Knight in the one piece too. I thought it was kind of cool.
So I do really like the new look, and I do like how it's really about him in his role as Moon Knight, and it's kind of it's very kind of disjointed stories that create this character, which is a nice way of seeing it.
See, I haven't read a Moon Knight story since apparently 2007 or 6, the one David Finch did the art for. It was kind of like a big reboot back in that day to like bring him back, and it was like all the hype in 2006. So I guess I was probably reading Wizard at the time to get my hype. But yeah, I kind of fell off of that. So I don't actually know much about Moon Knight at all. I know you and Mark love him, so I should probably check some stuff out.
Yeah, so the new run, so the Ellis run that Paul and I were just talking about, so that started in 2014. So there's not a lot of catch up that you would have to do if you decided to read it.
Yeah, if it came out then, I could probably jump on Marvel Unlimited and catch up quick that way, hopefully.
Yeah. But as a Netflix show, so I think that it would be very similar to Daredevil, except a little bit weirder.
Yes, definitely.
I read a great fan theory about how they could introduce Moon Knight throughout like the next couple Netflix shows, where it's like you have, because he is schizophrenic and he has the different personalities, you could have like a shadowed man having dinner with Wilson Fisk and they're like discussing it, and that's his like billionaire personality. And then you have Moon Knight fighting Daredevil in the street. And then I think that there's a not like a, I don't know, he's kind of a Samaritan character, a good Samaritan, and he could like bump into Jessica Jones at some point along the way. And I don't know, I thought that would be cool.
That would be. I kind of dig that. I mean, I'm not to say that like Moon Knight couldn't work. I just don't think it's being developed right now. I mean, it might be like, oh yeah, Moon Knight, that'd be a cool idea. All right, back to Punisher.
Netflix Phase 2, maybe. We have a while before we get to Netflix Phase 2.
Yeah, that's true. We definitely do. But speaking of phases, we also have a lot of cool news from Thor Ragnarok coming out of the Marvel Phase 3. Valkyrie is set to be in Ragnarok, which is cool because if we can get more female... Actually, have we had a female character with an actual superpower yet in the movies? I don't think so.
Well, we have...
Lady Sif, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have, like, superpowers, but, I mean, she's super-powered.
Pepper Potts is technically now super-powered.
No, they got rid of that.
I thought they got rid of that at the end. Wasn't Tony like, oh yeah, we fixed her. We gave her a beer and she calmed down.
But I think that he's the implication that I got from it was that he had not cured the extremis in the way that it cleared it from the body, but it made it stable. So the people were still infected, but it was stable, and that's how he could then remove the arc reactor and then get his extremis armor that he got moving forward.
Okay.
Huh. But yeah, I think Valkyrie would be sweet.
Valkyrie would be sweet.
She's fucking badass. So.
Oh my god, yeah, it would be amazing to see. Yeah, she's like on horseback and the horse has wings, and she's fucking chucking spears at people.
And so, I mean, so Thor's going to eventually get back and find out that Loki has taken the place of Odin. So it makes sense that ties in with the other big news is that the Hulk's going to be in Thor Ragnarok.
I am so excited about that.
Who else is Thor going to get to beat down Loki besides the Hulk?
Yeah, the big thing for me is, and I actually wrote a piece about this on the Kronos website, is that if Hulk is going to be in Ragnarok, I want him to look like he came from Planet Hulk. Like, I want him to have like a fucking shield.
That would be cool.
And like a sword and like the helmet. I think if they're not going to do a Planet Hulk film, at least give us that. Because I think seeing Hulk dressed like that next to Thor and Valkyrie would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be sweet if they just had him show up in the gladiator outfit and he just has a couple of his bros from Planet Hulk with him and they don't explain anything. So just you as a fan, you missed the best Marvel movie that was never made.
No.
And then they have the ability at any point to go back and tell that story.
What they do is they have a little box down in the bottom corner of the screen with an asterisk, and the asterisk says, "For seeing what happened to the Hulk, check out unavailable Hulk movie."
Well,
that'd be amazing.
Because one of the things that the like Kevin Feige or a lot of the Hulk creators and actors have said, Mark Ruffalo, they've said like, well, Hulk movies don't work because you keep waiting for Bruce Banner to become the Hulk, but the whole movie is him trying to not be the Hulk. But if they do Planet Hulk, he's Hulk the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be awesome. Like, I mean,
I just want to see a relatively smart Hulk, because now we've actually had character progression with the Hulk.
Right.
And part of the thing is that after a while, the Hulk does kind of start to wise up. There's been multiple iterations of the Hulk where he's either conniving or genius level smart.
Well, my Hulk growing up, like the first Hulk comic I ever read, he could speak full sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Like my introduction to Hulk was Smart Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I would like to see that in a movie. Though it does frustrate the hell out of me when he's like smart one issue and dumb the next. Like how he was so smart in Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, and then when you saw him in the Jeff Loeb Hulk, he was back to being like, Hulk mad, puny humans. It's like, wait, how? Why? What the?
And I think that a mobster Mr. Fix-It movie would be great.
Oh my God, Gray Hulk in a pinstripe suit.
Running a casino, yeah, absolutely. And then like just beating the crap out of people who are trying to turn on him and the cops who keep coming after him.
That'd be sweet if like after Infinity War, he just like something happens to the Hulk and he just disappears, and then Phase 5, they just find out he's just been in Vegas just running the mob. Someone was like down and out. Robert Downey Jr. goes there after he retires from being Iron Man. And he's just like, the hell?
What's going on with these X-Men shows that are coming out?
So there's two, Hellfire and Legion. So one's going to be, I think they said Hellfire is going to be like a 1960s look into the Hellfire Club, and it's probably not going to have January Jones, so that's going to suck already. And the other one is Legion, and Legion is what? Xavier's estranged son, who's a dangerous psychopath?
He's schizophrenic, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's the one who like freaks out and causes the first Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, that's right.
Back in the 90s. There's that like 4-part Legion Quest book.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Legion is Xavier's son?
Yeah.
Who was Prometheus? Was that Xavier's son too?
I think Prometheus and Legion might be the same. I forget because I know Legion is the one who kind of like, he like freaks out and causes that shit. But yeah, he's the son of Professor X and Gabriel Haller, and he's just like schizophrenic, and he, excuse me, I don't know. I just know. All I know about Legion really is that he's Professor X's schizophrenic son, and he kind of caused like crazy shit to happen, which is weird because I don't know how they base a show around him because he's just kind of in a wheelchair and crazy.
Yeah,
but in X-Men,
and he has it like that house party haircut, right?
Yeah, the flat top. But in X-Men 2, what's his name? General Stryker. Is that the like main bad guy in X-Men 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cox.
Was it his son who he was pushing around in the wheelchair that could warp reality?
Yeah, that was his son.
Because I feel like he was like really based off of Legion, it seemed like, because he was like wheelchair bound, kind of mentally challenged, and could like warp reality and cause all kinds of crazy shit to happen.
Gotcha.
So there was Proteus, who was Moira McTaggart's son, and he really had the reality warping powers, from what I understood.
He was like one of the few guys that made Wolverine shit himself.
Yeah,
that was the famous issue where like Cyclops like throws a pot of like hot coffee in Wolverine's face and calls him a pussy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Jason Stryker, according to the internet, is like a mix of those two characters, or like influenced by those two. But it just seems weird, like a very weird character to try to base a show around, like just this schizophrenic, deranged son of Professor X. Like,
and he's technically more powerful with reality stuff than the Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah, all it is.
He's just like a brain messed up Omega mutant.
All the show is just like Fox trying to cash in on like, oh well, DC's got Gotham and the Flash, and Marvel has Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
Gotham is Fox's show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
So they think people love this like prequel, but like not really canon bullshit.
God.
But see, what I don't get is the X-Men universe, more so than every sub little section of the Marvel universe, has so many good characters. Like, there's so much stuff to choose from. Even Hellfire, I think, makes more sense because it could just be like a mutant secret society in the 60s, and they're probably not going to all be bad bitches in leather like they were in the comics, but...
Yeah. I think that after Age of Apocalypse, or whatever the hell they're calling it, the Apocalypse movie, and the third Wolverine movie, I think it might... Although they're doing a Gambit movie, though, aren't they? But basically what I'm trying to say is that at some point, Fox needs to seriously hit the reset button on this franchise, because while there are strong pieces in there, like because I love First Class,
me too.
I love Days of Future Past, but it's still kind of a hot mess, like because I think of what happened in X-Men 3, and I just think that they need to kind of like reset themselves at some point.
It's because they're trying to make everything canon, but I think when they were making those movies, the people who were making them for the most part didn't realize it, or like weren't working towards that goal, and they just kind of made mediocre movies a lot of the times that just meant nothing and added nothing.
Yeah, I still cannot believe X-Men 3. Holy cow. Oh my God.
I still haven't watched that movie since like 2007, 8. When did it come out?
I haven't either. I've seen it. Last time I saw it was in theaters.
Yep.
So
I've seen it more recently than that, but only for the I'm the Juggernaut bitch line, and that's about it.
See, even when I saw that and I was like in high school or college, whenever that movie came out, I think I was in high school. But I felt like they were pandering to the people even when I was like 16.
They totally were.
I was
just totally
like,
were.
Oh, really? Like, come on.
No, because I was the one. I thought it was because by that point, if I remember correctly, I was annoyed because like that had been out for a while.
Yeah, it wasn't like a South Park episode that's like on the cutting edge. It was like a Simpsons episode where they weren't right on the.
Yeah, and also I didn't like his in the I'm blanking on the actor who played him. All I can think of was Bullet Tooth Tony from Snatch, but that actor who played him, I know he was trying to go for an American accent, but when I heard it, it sounded pretty British.
Yeah, or like Scottish.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like, no, that's not my Juggernaut. What the hell is that?
So I saw a really interesting discussion online recently about Fox's upcoming like movie plan because Fantastic Four bombed so terribly, and Gambit is still currently without a director. Mm-hmm. So we have Deadpool coming out in February. Age of Apocalypse is probably going to be pushed back to take Gambit's spot because that's going up against a couple kind of key movies, and then in the future, the Wolverine 3 would be able to take the place of Fantastic Four 2, and then the Wolverine 3 spot could be taken by X-Men New Mutants, which is Fox has been talking with filmmaker Josh Boone to write a film adaptation of New Mutants, which will be a spin-off instead of a direct continuation.
I love New Mutants.
Yeah,
like that original arc, I love.
Apparently, he just finished writing the script this month, so they're getting ready to move forward on it. So it's likely that we'll see it within the next couple of years, while Fox abandons the Fantastic Four again.
Can we talk about that fucking bullshit rumor that was circling on the internet about Fantastic Four going back to Marvel?
It was on major websites too. Like that first link you sent was from.
Den of Geek. Den of Geek was who started it. So what happened? So Marvel and Fox released their press releases about the shows, and then someone got it in their head that Fox was getting these shows because Marvel was giving them access to characters that they had in return for the Fantastic Four rights. That was how it was originally reported, and that was just complete horseshit. But everyone ate it up because it made sense, and we want a good Fantastic Four movie.
It seemed too easy when I first read it. Like when I saw that, I was like, damn, people's stupid dreams came true. This doesn't seem right. Like I was like, that's too easy. Like I just read that and I was like, that's too awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was just like one bad movie. Like Fox has consistently made bad movies and they're just like, nope, whatever, we're keeping it. So I don't know. I feel like they're too deep at this point to just give it up.
Yeah, I mean, while I was excited about it, I was definitely like, I'm gonna be hopefully optimistic about this because my thing is, I love Fantastic Four as a comic. I don't see it translating well at all in any medium outside of a comic. But I'm thinking if they got Fantastic Four, that's Galactus, that's Silver Surfer, that's Doctor Doom. Like that's what I was really hoping for. Because I mean, I would just love to see Doom done by the MCU because first of all, I don't even know how you mess up Doom to the extent that Fox did. Like I hate that they made him like a weird pretty boy and all I could think of like when I saw that first Fantastic Four with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis, which actually to their credit I thought they were a great Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, but the way remember when Doom was transforming, he was getting all metally. I just kept thinking, is he turning into a paperclip? Like what? What's going on? And then
looks like you need some help taking over the Earth. Click here for more information.
Oh God, yeah. And I didn't see the new one. I'm not going to, but I hated how Doom looked in that too. Like he just looked like.
It's better than how the Ultimate Universe treated him because apparently by the end of the Marvel Ultimate Universe,
he was like a horse.
he was half goat and he had shiny goat metal legs.
I would take shiny goat legs over whatever we've had so far because I need the cloak and I need to have him look like he's wearing a mask. Like the other times, like I don't know. Like
could you imagine if they just made him a goat in one of the movies? They're just like they had like the big reveal and like just silhouette and just comes up with just a goat with like a red or a green bathrobe.
Bathrobe.
That would be great. Like Reed, Matt.
Yeah, it talks. Or it's like the goats in those like stupid videos online where they just scream.
That would be amazing. Like just like no dialogue. Like Dr. Doom, you won't win this time.
And they filmed the whole rest of the movie like that. I would be like, this joke is horrible and it's gone on way too long, but god damn it, they need to win an Oscar.
Well, have you?
Especially if like when Doom fails and his lab's falling apart and that goat scream, like there are explosions, like ah! Ah!
Have you seen on a subject similar to this? Have you seen the unaired pilot of Archer with the older voice actor?
No,
I heard of this, but I haven't watched it, and it sounds frightening.
It's on the DVD, and they basically just take Archer in every scene and they replace him with a velociraptor. And he's just making dinosaur noises throughout the entire episode for his dialogue for a full like 24 minutes.
I love when stuff like that comes out because first off, it's already funny, but it's also funny to think about the person who like sat down and took the time to like carefully place these velociraptor noises over an entire episode of a TV show.
For like the main character's dialogue too. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Oh man, I love Archer though.
and now I'm all of a sudden I'm back to Fantastic Four after my Archer segue. But so I think that you can't do an origin movie for the Fantastic Four because their power and strength is not in their origin. It's in the way they live together and the way they fight together and the way they research together and just how they live. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like they just need to skip that whole part, give it to us in a 5-minute flashback. I don't care. Just get it out of the way and then just start the story somewhere. Pick an interesting story with them.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be cool.
And they're doing that with Spider-Man, right? They're just skipping the origin and skipping Uncle Ben, and they're just I think that's the key, especially if you're going to reboot characters frequently as you do, like Spider-Man or Batman. I was even hoping they were going to do that with the Batman vs Superman, but I saw the trailer and I saw little Bruce screaming about his dead parents. I'm like, Jesus H. Christ. Like, how many times can we see that? So I agree with Will. I think if they were to do Fantastic Four, they should just skip the origin and just...
I can almost guarantee you that they're going to... that the bit from Batman v Superman, it's not going to be more than 30 seconds, and they just used it in the trailer because it's free footage that everyone knows already.
Mm-hmm. I just
when I saw it, all I could think of was like, what is a comedian doing in this?
Yeah.
Silence.
I don't buy Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Mr. Wayne. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Rachel McAdams being in Doctor Strange movie as the night nurse?
I love her and everything, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I have absolutely no information or opinion on Night Nurse, so I'll just take more Rachel McAdams where I can get it.
Yeah,
I just
that's
think it's
not
weird
the Notebook.
How they basically just like we were talking about earlier, how they basically had Night Nurse in Daredevil.
Rosario
Dawson. And Rosario Dawson was awesome in that show.
She was, but she was just a nurse at night.
Exactly.
That was it. That was all she was doing. But it'd be kind of a great twist if like Rachel McAdams is Doctor Strange and Benedict Cumberbatch is the night nurse.
That would be rad.
All right.
Wait, does anyone know when Daredevil season 2 is coming out?
It's like first half of next year, right?
I thought it was like April of 2016.
Yeah, because the first season came out in April this year, right?
Yeah, and they're like filming it now, so I think they're trying to be on track with that because they still haven't done anything with Iron Fist. I feel like the effort they're putting into Daredevil 2 is what would have been for Iron Fist because he hasn't even been cast yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if Rachel McAdams as Night Nurse shows up in Daredevil season 2, even though it's still a little bit ahead of Doctor Strange?
I liked Rosario Dawson, and I rarely say that, so...
I hope she comes back just as a recurring character. I don't know
I think
why
she
wouldn't.
will.
She was awesome.
But what's like the significance of the night nurses, like versus just a nurse at night? Because they weren't really around in any of the books that I was reading. I know they're a big thing about like the 70s-ish.
Yeah, well, also Night Nurse was in the Brian Michael Bendis Daredevil stuff. You know, I think it's basically like, you know, if you're a superhero trying to keep your ID under wraps and probably have a lot of money, you go see Night Nurse. Because because Spider-Man can't go to a hospital in his superhero costume, and Peter Parker can't go in there and be like, oh, explain these bullet wounds or explain these weird Dr. Octopus wounds that you got. Like, you know, he can't be like, oh, I fell into a gun. Like, you know, I think that was the whole function. And I remember, I haven't read the Bendis Daredevil in a while. I actually just dug out of storage because I wanted to reread it. But I remember liking her role in it.
And it seems like a cool role, and like it makes perfect sense. Like you would need someone to sew you up.
Yeah.
It's the damage control of Marvel Universe healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're just like, we don't take your insurance, Spider-Man.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It says here you're self-employed at the Daily Bugle. You know that means you get no benefits, right?
JJJ doesn't give benefits. Why would he?
It's true.
Yeah. But it looks like Night Nurse actually had her own comic. It was like Night Nurse issue 1 was released in 1972.
Yeah, I was just looking that up, and there's like 3 of them. One of them's named Linda Carter, which isn't that the actress that played Wonder Woman in the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was planned.
Yep.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, so I'm excited that she's involved. I'm actually really looking forward to Phase 3 because it's not as sequel heavy because we're getting like Captain Marvel and
which I'm pumped about. Like, don't get me wrong, I love all the people in the movies now, but I'm pumped to see some new stuff coming out, especially some of the weirder stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
I mean that's why, like, you know, on a certain level, like, I mean, my level for excitement for Ant-Man was almost on par with the Avengers because I've never seen Ant-Man before, like, in any iteration. Like, it wasn't like, oh, there was Ant-Man and the Hulk in the 70s. Like, nope, I don't think this guy's ever been in a live action anything before. So that was really, really cool. So I'm excited to see, like, what to do with, you know, like, Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And
Black Panther.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, can't wait.
But like just in the past couple of years, like when I think back to like the Marvel movies that I like the most, I mean, there's obviously like Winter Soldier, which is amazing, but Guardians of the Galaxy, I think of the most, I would say, as far as like, just like, wow, that's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how Star Wars comes out.
Well,
so
tomorrow we'll get another tease because we're recording this
during
on
a football
Sunday.
Game.
I'm fully on board for episode 7 at this point. I'm not really concerned, and I'm hoping that just means that I just think it's good instead of great because I set my expectations a little bit too high. But I trust JJ, and I think that he was so scared of doing this project, but then I think he finally learned what he understood he needed to do, and I think that he's going to give us the Star Wars movie that we want
And deserve.
Yeah, want more than maybe deserve. Some of the fans are, you know, bad people.
But
Yeah, we don't deserve shit.
Star Wars is like crazy how like overlapping. Like you were saying during a football game, but like Star Wars, I bet most of the people watching that football game are going to be pumped about Star Wars. Like,
Oh yeah.
Star Wars is like a whole different level of nerd stuff. Like I was looking at someone posted the top 10 biggest selling comic books of I think September 2015, and the number 1 was Journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Shattered Empire, like the prequel book. Like that was number 1. Number 2 was Star Wars number 9, and then Batman was 3, which makes sense because Batman's Batman. Deadpool versus Thanos, which I think is really weird. That must speak to the popularity of Deadpool.
Yeah.
But then
I tried reading that and it was terrible.
that's what I heard. But then right below that is Darth Vader. So in the top 5 top selling comic books, 3 of those are Star Wars books. Like that's crazy.
That is pretty intense.
By the way, I guess I'll save it for what we're reading, but Shattered Empire is really good, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, I would you see that new poster they released today? There's a Death Star in it.
It's beautiful.
So it's a star
Or a
killer.
giant Pokemon ball. I don't know.
It's a star killer. It is a Death Star that has been made out of an ice planet that can blow up entire star systems.
So that sounds sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up for Angela so she can see.
And so, I mean, so it's the internet. So I saw this go up on the Star Wars subreddit, and people have been tearing it apart for like details. So everyone's talking about the way that Kylo Ren is facing the same way, or no, what's the girl's name?
Yeah, isn't it Ren?
Yeah, Ren. So she's facing the same way as the villain. So like, oh, she's of course going to be the tortured one in the movies, and she's like holding her big stick in the way that the lightsaber looks like it could be a lightsaber. So people are looking into all sorts of foreshadowing out of a poster.
But the thing is, a lot. If J.J. Abrams had anything to do with this, like there's a lot that goes into movie posters. When I was in school, I don't know if you were in the class at the time, Paul, but one of the film courses we took, we analyzed the poster of Titanic.
Yeah.
And like the amount of like hidden like symbolism and crap they had in the posters is insane. And for a movie like this, and with someone like J.J. Abrams and like just Star Wars, these crazy people are probably onto something.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, when I look at it, I want to cook and go to Subway, but that's just, I don't know what that's saying about. That's just a little messaging in there. But I do. What I took away from this was obviously the Star Killer. Is that what it's called? Well, right.
Unicron. It just looks like Unicron from Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah. That caught my eye, and I love that we finally get to see Princess Leia in anything, because we haven't even seen her in a trailer. We've just seen her hands receiving a lightsaber. So I'm glad we get her.
Yeah.
I'm glad Han Solo is in there.
But you know who isn't there?
Luke Skywalker. I was just gonna get to that.
Skywalker.
Yeah, which obviously is, and he's someone we haven't seen in the trailer that came out. Was it last winter? But I'm sure it's like for a reason. They probably got a big reveal for Luke. But yeah, I did notice that Luke was absent from this. But yeah, I was happy to see, Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and the Millennium Falcon, because obviously it's Star Wars. I'd be excited anyway, and I saw the trailer. I was excited, but man, when I saw Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, it's like I'm fucking sold. Like because that's, one, I love it's not a prequel, and I love that it's very much connected to the original trilogy. Because I don't think the prequel trilogy is like connected at all. Because I think the prequel trilogy is forced and just money grabbing. But this one just feels like it's a little bit more like in the family, if that makes any sense.
Also, it's the first time I've seen Harrison Ford look genuinely happy in like a performance, even that one line. Like he looked like he was like, "Yeah, I'm Han Solo."
Well, what's funny, though, is the amount of times Harrison Ford has shitted on his Star Wars experience and how he wanted George Lucas to kill him off. Like, he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi. And in interviews past, he had kind of scoffed at those movies, even though it, pretty much launched his career. So I'm curious to see how he came back to this, other than what I'm sure was a really good paycheck. I'm hoping that in my ideal world, the script it was just that good that Harrison Ford was like, okay, all right, let's go do this.
I think also maybe after almost dying in a plane crash, maybe he had a life-changing experience and was like, you know what? That actually was a good time. I'm going to do that more.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I know when I got to agree with Paul, it's like as soon as Han Solo showed up, like I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely more of a Star Trek fan. But when Han Solo showed up, that's when I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Seal it.
Yeah. I mean, and seeing the Millennium Falcon, it's almost like I'm able to re-experience the feelings I had when I saw the original, and I didn't get any of those sensations when I saw the prequel trilogy. And I was still in grade school when Phantom Menace came out. So I had those feelings of excitement for the trailer. And then watching the movie, I didn't get anything from it. And I was in such denial about it. I remember being like, "Oh no, it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. It's gonna get good."
You and everybody else.
You may as well have told me midway through, once Qui-Gon died, "Oh yeah, Santa's not real." Just seal the deal. And then thinking, okay, well, Attack of the Clones will be good because they worked out the kinks in the first one. Okay, Revenge of the Sith will be good because this is their last chance. God damn it, those movies were terrible.
The thing about
Attack
of the Clones for me is that it's totally the worst, in my opinion, of all three. It's the most boring. It looks the worst because Lucas, that was the first feature-length film shot digitally. And I'm glad that he's one of those directors like James Cameron that try to push filmmaking technology.
Right.
Just as a filmmaking nerd, that stuff interests me. And the cameras they use are like worse than the camera on like your iPhone. Like literally worse, like resolves less resolution or is bad. So that movie looks bad. But it's also I was just boring.
Well, the dialogue is so bad. Like, I mean, the whole quote unquote romance between Anakin and Padme is really bad. And also Christopher Lee, God rest his soul, and I fucking love Christopher Lee. Count Dooku. Okay, strike one. That fucking name. So you got that, and also, they're amping up to this like lightsaber duel between him and Obi-Wan and Anakin. Obi-Wan's knocked out like a bitch, and back to your point, Rob, about how it was shot. I hate how it's just, and I wish people could watch me do this, but it's a close-up of like Anakin doing this. And Christopher Lee like doing this. So you don't even see the fight. It's just close-up in like a light show. It's a Christopher Lee light show, which sounds cool, but it really wasn't for the movie. And then when it cut to a wide shot, it's clearly some 20-something with a digitally placed Christopher Lee face over him. It's so bad. And then you have that. Yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
Maybe if you want realistic fighting with Christopher Lee, go watch a movie where Christopher Lee is not 85 years old. Because dude is ancient.
No, Will, that's what I'm saying. Who fucking wrote him in that part? George Lucas. Like, I mean, you could have had, him operate in a different capacity. Like, like it just.
Well, his wizard battles were pretty badass.
Yeah, the wizard battles of Lord of the Rings. If it was like that, if you had a wizard battle between like Yoda and Count Dooku doing that shit instead of Yoda looking like a green pinball bouncing around the screen.
It's funny though, because speaking of this specific fight, at work the other day, I was like setting up some stuff, and there's a YouTube video that was all of the lightsaber fights from all of the Star Wars just thrown into a YouTube video, and I was like, sure, I'll watch this. And when it got to that part, I'd like forgotten how terrible that fight scene is, because Christopher Lee's literally just swinging his sword back and forth, and not once is he swinging it towards his opponent. No, like he's literally just waving it up and down.
That's what I'm saying.
You can tell there's like, here, hold this stick and wiggle it, and we'll make it work in post.
Yeah, but they didn't make it work.
Nope.
So I was in high school when Attack of the Clones came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. At least like episode 1 has some cool stuff, I guess.
The only
like the
thing
pod racing stuff's kind of cool at times, and like Darth Maul's a really cool design, but
no, episode 1. So the prequel trilogy. So episode 3 is the best of the prequel trilogy, followed by episode 1, followed by episode 2.
I'd agree with you there.
But there's a huge gap between between episode 3 and episode 1 as far as how terrible they are.
You know what? Can I just say this? Part of the reason why I was so frustrated with Revenge of the Sith was because there were actual pockets of like good writing and acting. The problem is like those scenes aren't justified because Anakin is not likable, and he should have been. And Obi-Wan and Anakin should have liked each other because, as Sir Alec Guinness said, he was a great pilot and a good friend. They weren't good friends at all. So when Anakin goes to the dark side, and Ewan McGregor, I think, is giving a great performance. He's so broken, and he's like, Anakin, I failed you. And the way he says it, it's like, I wish I could have it, feel more hurtful if I didn't give a shit about Anakin. If I gave a shit about his character and their friendship, that betrayal would have had more gravity to it. But because he was such a bitch killing sand people and crying about it, and like, Obi-Wan doesn't like me, like I don't care. Like, good, you fucking fall in that vat of lava. Slowly, motherfucker. And don't come out until you have a Vader mask on.
Oh no!
I love that. What happened to Padme? And Palpatine's like, well, funny story.
Hey,
you killed her.
Or some shit.
Oh, did he?
I thought he did.
I don't know, but you know what I love though? Like, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I don't know you anymore. Like, come on.
Dude.
Come on.
No, I mean, when she was just running around, I was like, girl, are you pregnant? Why are you running around like that? I mean, the whole thing. I can't.
Remember when the twins were born? This one's Luke. This one's Leia. Oh, my heart.
No, it was boo boo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like every other nerd in the world, we could probably go off on the prequels for the next
Sorry,
3.5 hours.
We'll do a Star Wars special before the movie comes out.
Oh, definitely.
And shit on them then.
I'm just saying that from the trailers and the poster, these feel more organic and real than the other see, I almost called them commercials, which they fucking were. They were commercials for action figures. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can tell they're trying because they know what to expect if they fail. And that's just a lot of people being real upset at you.
Yeah, and I like too that it seems like maybe J.J. Abrams, who I think is an incredibly smart director in many ways, recognizing that it's the year 2015 and also kind of staying in line with the tradition of Star Wars about making sure, like, okay, we have a good, strong female lead who's a badass. And also let's have like a strong black guy in there because, you know, all we have is Lando. And
Colt 45.
Williams is the shit.
No, I'm not saying he
Everybody loves Lando. But
everyone loves Lando, but Lando's like all we got in those movies.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
But goddamn, Lando's the man.
He is the man. That being said, or not being said, that was a terrible segue. What are we into this week? What are we reading or watching or checking out that's kind of catching our eye?
Batman 45. I need to talk about Batman 45 with you guys.
Yes,
I haven't read it yet.
Oh,
Rob.
I'm so busy.
it's great.
I mean,
I can say that much.
I believe it. Comics never let me down.
Well, is there any way you could talk about the series without too much details?
So I think that this is where we get our really first look at why we should be terrified of Mr. Bloom, and it's absolutely terrifying.
I agree
that.
And
we see Gordon really put to a test that I didn't expect to see him having to go through.
Yeah,
and it really made me like this current iteration of Gordon as Batman that much more.
I think I totally agree with you in that, and I'm so happy that they went the way with Gordon being Batman. Like, I'm really happy DC took a chance, and probably not even a chance because Scott Snyder's been so consistently good, but I feel like having Commissioner Gordon be Batman was kind of a gamble because that affects so many other titles that Batman's in, and they went for it, and I feel like the payoff it's great now, and I feel like it's going to get even better.
Yeah. I mean...
So, yeah. Go ahead.
It's just... The book's so good.
Yeah.
Will, was there anything else you're reading?
There was, but I had a quick question. So is it Capullo that's leaving Batman for a little bit because he's going to do his own thing?
He's taking a break. He's working with Mark Millar, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's brief, though. He says it's brief, so I don't know.
Okay. I did have, I think, a lot of really good reading this week. Civil War 5, the Secret Wars tie-in. So that story wrapped up this week, and I really, really like that one. It's probably one of my favorite Secret Wars tie-ins. A-Force finished up, and it finished up a little bit weaker than I would have liked. That was like the all-female Avengers team, which I think they're continuing in all new, all different Marvel. And then I read The Uncanny Avengers, which is part of the all new, all different Marvels. So that's Old Man Steve, Johnny Storm, Rogue, Deadpool, Voodoo, Synapse, and a couple other people, and Quicksilver. So that's a really weird Avengers team to me.
Yeah.
But it was a fun little comic. I'll probably keep giving it a shot. But then I read the new Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm really excited for because it's got Rocket, Groot, The Thing, Venom, Flash Thompson, Venom, and then Kitty Pryde as Star-Lord.
Cool.
Yeah, and so the first issue was fun, and it was definitely very entertaining. So Peter Quill is off being Spartax of his people, and Venom and the Thing have decided to go off into space because they're talking about Reed and Sue, and like they're not there. I'm like, oh, whoops, haven't finished Secret Wars yet. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's like, it's such a bummer. They're like 3 months behind.
But yeah, no. So I did really like the new Guardians, and I'm excited to see Venom out in space, because I feel like they can do a really awesome symbiote storyline there. And Ben Grimm, everyone loves the ever-loving Thing. So yeah.
Baby Blue Eyes or whatever the hell they call him.
I do love the Thing. He's amazing.
He always gets such a bum rap because he's like super strong, but he's not as strong as the Hulk.
No.
And he can't change back to a person. He's just he's just a nice guy who's pretty strong.
Though the fight between the Thing and the Hulk in World War Hulk is awesome, because the Hulk's like, come on, we've been down this road, and the Thing is still just like, bring it. Mm-hmm. And then they just duke it out, and it's great.
Yeah. It's pretty rad. What are you reading this week, Angela? Anything good?
Well, Plutonia. And Rich Rising's still awesome. I've been watching like way too much reality TV. I started watching the most recent season of America's Next Top Model, which is apparently its last season. And Paul's really into it, and he was really upset because he thought the whole season was up, and it's just like up to 10 episodes. So he's very, very upset and invested.
Yeah. But you want to talk about Plutonia?
Oh, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. No, I mean, have any of you guys read it yet?
I haven't. It's been on my like go-to list.
It's like basically a bunch of kids find a dead superhero and in the woods, and it's like, yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes.
I'll have to get that.
Now, Rob, have you had time to read anything this week?
I have not. Since the last time we recorded a podcast, I have only had like 6 hours of downtime. And in that time, I built a green screen in my basement and made a video of me walking on the moon. So that's what I'm going to do this week.
Oh my God. Can I please see that?
But yeah, I was thinking about making some videos for the site and using my production skills to do something fun. Yeah, that's it. Like, so these are my moon reviews.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
But I did see The Martian. I don't know if I talked about that. That's a movie. It's not a comic book.
You didn't see like a Martian like in real life.
I saw a movie with Matt Damon based on a book.
Matt Damon.
Yes. And I liked the book better, but the movie's very pretty.
Okay.
That's Ridley Scott.
Yeah. That man does space well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the spacesuits. I love Ridley Scott spacesuits.
Yes. You know what? Did you notice that the opening credits was very reminiscent of Alien?
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
Also, I want the NASA hoodies that they have. They all had the nicest NASA hoodies. So that's the comic book stuff I've been reading.
Thanks for that report, Rob.
I've also been diving deep into X-Files, and I just finished the episode that you guys were talking about before with it's like the Thing, the Carpenter film. So I just finished that episode. So I'm maybe like 7-8 episodes into season 1.
Yeah, man, you're in for a good ride.
Yeah,
we just started season 3.
Yeah. Oh man, the season 2 cliffhanger and season 3 opening was really good. That was very strong.
So I'm not sure how quickly you two are binging, but I'll catch up soon.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. But yeah, no, X-Files has been amazing to rewatch again because I'm catching things that I didn't pick up the first time around. Yeah, X-Files is great. I read Captain America White issue 3 this week. That was very good. And of course, Batman. Was it 44 or 45? Is it 44?
I think it was 45.
45, again, strong. And
watching Kimi ni Todoke.
Yeah, we're watching Kimi ni Todoke. I'm trying to think. I read Paper Girls. That was incredible.
I love it.
Paper Girls was really good. And Star Wars Shattered Empire is very good. I actually am liking it a little bit more than I thought I would. And it's getting me excited for the movie. And one thing I'm really appreciating about the series is that it marries the prequel trilogy and the middle trilogy together very well. Like Princess Leia at one point has to fly one of the fighter ships from Naboo, those yellow ships from Phantom Menace. She flies one of those at one point, and it's like, oh, they're really cool, like subtle nods that kind of help it show that, yeah, this is actually all the same universe. and the writing's really good, and it's kind of a nice little. I don't know where it's going yet. I don't know. I mean, I think the final issue is out next week, but it's definitely getting me excited for the Star Wars movies. I'm excited about that. So yeah, that's what I've been reading this week. But for those listening, please check out our content on chronospeakeasy.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and iTunes. And Rob, maybe we'll be on YouTube soon.
Yeah, there's a couple. I put a couple like magic videos up a really long time ago on YouTube. But I'm actually going to start putting out the shows on YouTube as well, because I know a lot of people like to listen to stuff from YouTube. So I'm going to put it out there too. Also, you guys have that Shield show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tuesdays.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for this Tuesday, or I don't know when this is going to drop, but on this Tuesday, there will be a new episode of Tuesdays.
I really want to see that video of you walking on the moon, Rob.
Yeah.
I'll export it. I took like...
Thank you.
I'll show you.
Put that on the Chronos site.
Yeah, it's just an article that's just a like GIF of me walking on the moon.
Yes. Watch that be like the most popular thing we ever do.
Make a video of me finding out how fucking Jane Foster got to the moon.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Yeah, and also, did anyone see the Alex Ross painting of the female Thor kissing the Sam Falcon, the Sam Wilson Falcon?
I did. Shit's getting steamy, and they all knew all different, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's no like Mary Jane Spider-Man upside down kiss, but I like that they're flying in the air. That looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
On that note, enjoy your issues.